Hello and welcome. We're going to be doing a video today on how to install Linux Mint 17.3 Mate into VirtualBox. It does not matter what operating system you're running VirtualBox on. The VirtualBox part of it is going to be the same. So we'll get started. First thing we're going to want to do is find a place to download Linux Mint. And I always go to DistroWatch to get anything Linux. So whenever you get to distrowatch.com, you scroll down, there's a list of distributions over here on the right. Mint's probably going to be the first one. It seems to be the most popular downloads per week. So just click on Mint and then scroll down to download mirrors, or you can actually go to their home page. We'll just go to their home page first. Okay, they've got a few different desktop options. They've got Cinnamon, Mate, XFCE, and KDE. We're going to do the Mate edition. So we'll click on Mate. We'll scroll down. This gives you your system requirements. If you're installing this in VirtualBox like I am, VirtualBox is only going to let you use half the memory your computer has. So if your computer has 4 gigabytes of RAM, you're only going to be able to use 2 gigabytes of RAM. So if you only have 2 gigs in your system, it's only going to let you use 1 gig, so you won't be able to use a 64-bit version. You'll need to use the 32-bit version. I'm going to go with the 64-bit. Okay, your direct download 64-bit. Come down, find USA. You just pick one that you think's close to you. I'm going to go with this one. Okay, and then click Save File, and it started downloading. I have already downloaded this, so I'm not going to wait the 20-something minutes for this to download. So I'm just going to go ahead and exit this because I've already downloaded it. This is the steps you need to take to download it, and it's in Firefox. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and close this. Now in VirtualBox, when you open it up, if you don't have any operating systems already loaded into it, this is going to be blank over here. So we're going to click on New, give it a name. So we'll put Linux Mint 17.3 Mate. Okay, and it's already in 64-bit. Click Next. Alright, the memory size, like I said, you can only use half the memory. I've got 12 gigs of RAM in my computer, but I'm going to give it 2 gig for this system. So 2048 is 2 gigs. Click Next. We're going to create a virtual hard disk. Click Create. Okay, VDI, virtual disk image. Click Next. We want it dynamically allocated. That means whenever we choose the size of it, it's not going to use that whole size until you actually load files in it, and it will just expand as it needed up to the maximum that you give it. So we'll click Next. Alright, so we've got this is how big we're going to make the hard drive. Now if you've got a lot of memory and you do more than 2 or 4 gigs of RAM, say I put 6 gigs of RAM, it's going to create a huge swap file, and I'm only going to have like 2 gigs left of hard drive space that I've allocated for this. But I'm going to go ahead and make this about 15 gigs. Now if you're going to load other software and stuff in here, like if you're going to try to load a 25 gig or 30 gig program into it, 15 gig obviously won't be enough. So just think about that before you create your disk. Click Create. Alright, now before we start it, we need to adjust the settings. So go to System. Okay, we've already got the memory set. We'll click on Processor. I've got a dual core CPU, so I'm going to give it 2 cores. We don't need to worry about the acceleration. Display. This video memory, the maximum that it will let you use is 128 megabytes. Now, from what I understand, VirtualBox actually has a pass-through where if you're running a game or something, it will use your physical video card on your computer. And we're enable 3D acceleration. Click on storage. This is where we're going to put in the virtual image that we just downloaded. So we'll click on the little disk, go up here to the little disk to the right of IDE secondary master, click on it, click choose virtual optical disk, and here is where we downloaded Linux Mint under downloads. So we'll go ahead and click open, and now that's populated in there. The rest of the stuff, there's really nothing that needs to be changed. Everything should be set up just fine. So we'll click OK. Now we're ready to start it. Just click start. And at this point, right here, is going to be the same as if you were actually installing to a clean hard drive instead of VirtualBox and you'd used a disk with Linux Mint on it. This is where you would start at. Okay, it's booted up now to the virtual image that we downloaded. So we want to click install Linux Mint, or double click it. After we get this loaded, I'll show you how to make it go full screen. Okay, so we want to choose your language. Mine's English. So click continue. Alright, and this is just verifying that you have enough hard drive space plugged into a power source, so if you're on like a laptop or something, it doesn't die on you in the middle of the install, and you're connected to the internet so that it can download the updates and stuff as you go. So just click continue. Alright, since this is a VirtualBox, we're just going to go ahead and choose the erase disk and install Linux Mint. There's nothing in here, we just created it, so it's not going to hurt anything. But if you're trying to install this alongside another operating system, you don't want to do this, it will erase everything on your hard drive. But since it's in VirtualBox, you're not going to hurt anything, so just do that and click install now. Okay, this is just telling you the changes that are going to be made to our hard drive inside VirtualBox. Click continue. This is where you want to choose your time zone. I'm in Central Time, so just click this. It's going to say Winnipeg or Chicago, but it's all Central Time. So click that, click continue. Alright, this is for your keyboard layout. English US, English US. If you're different, you can choose something different. Click continue. Alright, you want to choose a username and set up a password. I'm going to do a real easy one. Yeah, I want to click it, log in automatically. You can require a password if you don't want somebody logging into your computer. I'm not too worried about it, especially since it's in VirtualBox. Just log in automatically, click continue. Okay, it's copying files. I'm going to edit a lot of the wait periods where it's doing a lot of copying and downloading, so we're not just sitting here waiting on this. So as you're watching the video, you may have to pause it a few times to let your system catch up with the video. It's through copying files. Now it's installing the system. So wait for it to install. Once it gets through installing, I'll show you some stuff to kind of tweak it and theme it a little bit, make it a lot more attractive. Okay, it's through downloading, so it's now it wants to know whether you want to continue testing or restart. We're just going to go ahead and click restart now. Okay, so I want you to remove the installation media. So if you're actually loading this from a disk, you would take the disk out and hit enter. So we're just going to hit enter. Okay, so now we've got the basic of Linux Mint installed. So there's some stuff we're going to need to do. This is your welcome page when it comes up. That gives you a lot of information and stuff you can do. I'm going to go through some of the stuff individually without going through this. Okay, now that it's through installing, let's see if we can make this full screen. Okay. Go up here to view, click full screen, and now we've got it full screen. Okay, let's change the wallpaper. There's two ways you can do this. One, you can right click somewhere on the desktop and click change desktop background. Okay, so if we double click up here, it'll expand that. You've got a whole bunch of really nice pictures in here you can set as your desktop. So you just click one and that actually adds it. So if we want to minimize that, there it is. So minimize this back down by double clicking it again. So just any picture you click just automatically adds it, changes your background to that. Okay, we're going to close this. The other way to change your backgrounds, go down here in the bottom left corner where there's a menu, click it, go to appearance, and then click background, and there's the same thing we were at before. There's all our background pictures. You can change the theme, so this will change how the stuff over here looks. Like you can change it to mint aqua and it changes the color of that. And you make it purple. That looks nice, we'll keep it that way. You can change your fonts. I don't really want to change the fonts on stuff. I'm just going to leave it the way it's set up. Go ahead and close that. Alright, now if you notice down here on the time, it's in a 24-hour mode, 2140. I prefer a 12-hour clock. So if we right click on this, click preferences, you can click right here to make it a 12-hour format. And now see it shows the time in PM. You can have it show seconds if you want to. I don't really need the seconds on. Alright, show temperature, show weather. To get the weather to show up, go up here to locations, click add, and we'll pick wherever you want. So let's see. Let's do the Little Rock Air Force Base. Click OK. And we'll go over here to weather, because right now it's showing it in Celsius. I'm in the United States. I prefer Fahrenheit and miles per hour. Okay. So now we've got our weather down here. You hold your mouse over it and it'll pop up. It's overcast, 60 degrees, calm. Sunrise and sunset. Got the day, the date, the time. It comes with a lot of really nice programs like Office. You've got all the LibreOffice full suite, which is comparable to Microsoft Office. This would be the same as Microsoft Office Word. So you've got a lot of options to mess with. It's very nice. How's that? If you want other software, especially like games, right now you can see there's no games on here. If you come over here to Software Management under System, Software Manager, click it, put in our password. Alright, as you can see there's 74,241 packages available that you can download. A lot of really cool stuff, you know, stuff in science and education that, you know, there's calculators, and there's calculators already installed, but just a lot of stuff. Go back to categories, go to games. A lot of these, you know, they're just little fun play on games. I mean, here's the Steam launcher. If you want Steam for Linux, Steam has a lot of Linux games. There are some that don't run on Linux that you'll know the difference if when you open Steam. If you've used Steam, you know which ones run Linux and which ones don't. This is a good little game that is fun to play. So double click it, and it gives you a few pictures of what it looks like. You scroll down, it'll have reviews. Not all the reviews are in English, so you go back up, click install, and you got a progress bar down here of it installing. Okay, it's installed now. If you decide that you don't want a game, just come back to your software manager. You can click remove. Give it a shot real quick. I'm not going to spend a lot of time playing it. But now you have a games icon, and this is the only game we've got on here, so I'll click it once. It's loading. Okay, this particular game, you have to use your keyboard. So use the up and down and left arrow keys. So we'll start a one-person game. Click enter. Click enter again. Alright, just use your left and arrow and up key. This has always been a kind of a neat, fun game to waste a little bit of time. Okay, so hit enter, hit escape, and then put your name in. And hit enter. And hit escape, and escape again, and you're out. Okay, let's check a few more things here now. Here's an icon for Firefox, your web browser. So you click it and it'll launch. This is the first time it's been launched, so it's going to come up to the web page. If you want to change this web page, just go into Preferences, and right here's home page. I usually set Google as my home page. Okay, now on search, you come over here, you'll notice that Yahoo is the default search engine, and you don't even have the option for Google yet. I'll show you how to fix that. It's pretty easy. Okay, to change your Yahoo search engine to Google, we're going to go ahead and go to our home page, which is Google. Okay, here's switch your default search engine to Google. This will click show me how. Click it. Now you can go up here to your search engine and you can click add Google. Now that will add Google to your search engines. Alright, now if you go back over here to your preferences, click search, change this, you now have Google available. You come down and click all the other stuff you don't want. So you got Google. Alright, let's close some of this stuff out. So now whenever you open Firefox, you'll come straight to Google. Now I'm going to show you how to another way you can find wallpapers. Let me do a Google search for wallpaper. Click images. So if you find a neat wallpaper you want to use, normally on Windows and a lot of other places, if you right click on it, it'll give you the option to set it as a background. And as you can see, I don't see that here. So what you do is click Save Image As, put it in like your Pictures folder, click Save. Okay, it's saved. So let's exit this. So now if we right click on this, change desktop background. Now if we want the picture we just downloaded, click on Add, and in our pictures right here, here it is. Click Open, and voila. Now you just used a picture from the internet for your background. It's not that hard to do. Alright, let's go to our desktop settings. Show you some stuff in here. Okay, something I wanted to show you. When you go to desktop settings, go into Windows. Through Window Manager, you have an option of different things. See, now if I move the screen, move this around, it moves like this. If you use the Compiz, give it a second. Okay, it's reset. See how it's wobbly. Compiz has a lot of different things you can play with and tweak. If you run it in VirtualBox or you've got a low-end machine that you're running this on, you don't want to use a lot of this Compiz settings. Click Configure Compiz. There's a lot of stuff in here you can tweak. This is warning you that you can really screw your machine up if you don't know what you're doing, or if you add too much stuff. Another thing I want to bring your attention to, right down here, there's a little shield icon. This is for updating. This tells you have an update manager. So do you want to switch to a local mirror? This is gonna, we'll switch this, click OK, put our password in. You should only have to do this once. Once you get this set up, okay, it will remember it and you're not gonna have to keep switching around. So let it think for a minute. Okay. So it's gonna test the speed of the different mirrors that you download updates from. So we'll let that run until it's finished. Alright, so it's finished looking at the mirrors. We'll go back up and click the fastest one, or one that you think is closest to you. This one has always been a good mirror for me, University of Oklahoma. Of course, I'm in the central part of the United States. We'll click apply. And then for the base, do the same thing again. There's a lot more mirrors for this one, so it's going to take a while for it to go through all the mirrors and test the speed of all of them. Alright, it's through testing all the mirrors, so let's go back to the top. Pick one of the faster ones. This one looks good. We'll click it, click apply. So that's the only time you should have to do that, and then update the cache. Okay, that's done. So we're going to close this. I'm going to go back over here. I'm going to install updates. And our password. Authenticate. And now here's where all our updates are. Now that we've updated the update manager, which you should only have to do once. Every once in a while there may be a new update manager come out, but you'll be notified down here what updates are available. It's not going to be like some other operating systems. It's going to force you to update something right in the middle of what you're doing. Take hours out of whenever you want to do what you want to do and not do the updates yet. So you have the option just of leaving it here and updating it whenever you feel like updating it. We'll click install updates. Our password. Just through downloading, it's initializing the software. Hope the tutorial has been help to you. Should have a nice, clean, pretty Linux installation you can play with and learn. You've got it installed in VirtualBox, so you're not going to damage your system with any mistakes you might make. So just play, learn, search. Try to do everything you normally do in Windows and Linux, or whatever your system you're coming from. Basically, your only limitation is your imagination and your ability to search, because you can find it on the internet somewhere. Plus with this, if you get frustrated and tired, you can log out. Just click menu, click quit, and shut down. and you're back to your regular operating system. You don't have to worry about what you may have done to your operating system through VirtualBox. When you start it back up, it's right back where you left off. If you wanted to play with different operating systems, you can load several different ones in here. You can put Arch Linux, Debian, Red Hat, whatever you want to put. You can even load Windows operating systems in here and just click whichever one you want. Click start, play with it. It's a really good way to learn. Running Linux, you can do anything on Linux that you can do on Windows. All the places you used to go, even you can still go to YouTube, watch videos. Everything works really well as long as you learn, search. Alright, that's all for this video.